I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about my journey to sustainable health and meaningful success. If you're coming back and you've already subscribed, welcome back. Y'all are my people and I love you so much. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will consider subscribing by the end of this video. Today I am launching my 90-day core run. This is something that I learned in AMWAY, a multi-level marketing company that I had an absolute terrible experience with. If you want to check out that playlist on my channel and actually hear all of my multi-level marketing story and all of the drama and everything that ensued, I would really encourage you to do that because that gives you a little bit of context for what I am launching today. Because today is all about finding a different alternative to multi-level marketing as a way of accomplishing your dreams. And I say this without any experience of success whatsoever. I have not built any sort of business. I don't even really have any any results in terms of personal growth. I am kind of a beginner here in terms of actually doing something effectively that's going to get me somewhere. But I learned so many success principles in AMWAY in an MLM environment that I want to test it out to see if I can actually accomplish something and get further along in my own personal goals by applying the principles that I learned in AMWAY to something in my ordinary life. So a 90-day core run is 90 days of consistently doing a certain amount of steps. So in AMWAY, we did 30-day core runs and we did 90-day core runs. So if you just started with a multi-level marketing business, there would only be you'd have to do a 30-day core run of doing 5 very simple steps. And then if you were really in productivity mode and you were actually really striving to build your business, you would do 90 days of your core run. And then the ideal way to build your business, according to AMWAY and according to the subgroup that I was a part of, LTD, Leadership Team Development, those 90-day core runs stacked back to back would make you successful in this business. So I did several 90-day core runs. I did a couple of 30-day core runs. I only ended up getting one prospect, like one person to actually sign up under me in AMWAY. I had 0 customers and I ended up losing about $20,000 in 2.5 years. I lost all of my friends. I was isolated from my family. I was just basically destroyed mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially. And I didn't end up quitting until I started discovering that I was losing hair mysteriously. Very dramatic quitting story, very cult-like experience within the AMWAY business. So please check that out on my channel if you haven't already heard my story. But the 90-day core run, core in AMWAY LTD stood for change or remain employed. So they basically demonized having a job. So they made that the main focal point of their business, change or remain employed. I am going to be doing a 90-day core run and redefining those steps for myself. So my core stands for consistency of reforming effort. So I'm going to do 9 core steps that kind of reflect the intent of the 9 core steps of the AMWAY LTD business, but will be on my own terms. So I'm just going to go down the line of each step from LTD, how I think it could be applied to anybody in general for business or personal goals, and how I'm going to be applying that principle to my own personal success and my own personal health. The first LTD AMWAY business principle was to share the plan 3 to 5 times per week. to be reaching out to people and trying to recruit them for your MLM business. So 3 to 5 times a week, you were supposed to be having meetings, you're supposed to be talking with strangers, having conversations, and you had a conversation quota for how many people you needed to talk to that day, randomly out and about in the marketplace, how many social media connections you made. We particularly used LinkedIn and connected with a bunch of strangers. So, adding 100 random strangers to your LinkedIn network every day was pretty standard. And then cold messaging on LinkedIn to people who accept your invitation to connect. And then also messaging your network, your existing network on Facebook, basically reaching out to all your friends and family and telling them about the great opportunity that you have. So in a general business sense, I would say that this is advertising and outreach. So if you have a product or service, this would be the step to actually consistently get your material out there and let people know of what you have to offer. For me, because I'm not offering really anything, I don't have an ulterior motive anymore reaching out to my Facebook friends or anything like that. My whole point of sustainable health and meaningful success is sharing love, joy, and peace. So that's what I'm going to do every day for this step. So step 1, share love, joy, and peace. The second step of the AMWAY LTD business model was 100% personal use of AMWAY products. So I was spending up to $500 a month in hygienic products, makeup, whatever AMWAY sold, I was purchasing for myself, for my own personal use, so that I could have a personal testimony of what products work for me and have actual personal knowledge of the products that I was supposed to be selling. They were really overpriced and really overrated, but that was their step. I would say in general business practices, this is 100% personal use. You're using your own product, you're using your own services, and you're not going to the competition and funding the competition and pouring your resources into a competitive business in your industry. So, brand authenticity. For me, because I don't have a brand of product or service, I am just going to be a mindful consumer. This could be anything from recycling, less waste, just minimalism in general, vegan or cruelty-free, homemade versus store-bought, like my eating habits, my media intake, anything that I consume, to be mindful of that is important to me. So step 2 for me is mindful consumption. Step 3 in the AMWAY LTD business model is develop 50 points of customer volume. This equates to about $200 of product sales, and our group did not emphasize that hardly at all. I think most, if not all, of the business owners in our group were just falsifying their records. We were taught to falsify our records and report 50 points of customer sales, even though we purchased the product for our own personal use. We were to report it on the Amway website as customer sales. This is Amway's sneaky little way of being able to get around the whole illegal pyramid scheme thing, because as far as they're concerned, you have customer points, but a lot of uplines or a lot of lines of sponsorship actually teach to just falsify your records and report customer sales report your own personal purchases as customer sales. But in general business practices, this would just be delivering your product or service. I'm just going to get creative. I want to be intentionally creative for 90 days. So that could be with anything, with cooking or makeup or painting or crocheting or writing or filming or editing, anything that has to do with creating. I want to do that intentionally every day. So Step number 3 is get creative. Step 4 in leadership team development, AMWAY, is to listen daily. So in AMWAY, we purchased a $90 a month subscription to Leadership Team Development's audio system. $90 a month would get you 7 credits to redeem for an audio. So you'd get 7 audios per month for $90. And you were expected to listen to audios, multiple audios daily, in order to keep your mindset focused on AMWAY. Most of these audios were specifically created by the upper levels of AMWAY, like the upper level people of AMWAY, and they were all getting paid for those audios as well. Of course, they never tell you that half their income is from the tool sales themselves and not actually from AMWAY products. They make it seem like they made such a huge AMWAY business that they're able to live that lifestyle, but they don't tell you how much money they make from the actual audio recordings, but that's a whole different story. But for $90 a month, you get 7 audios. In general, for business, I think that this would just be diluting the negative and listening to things that are going to keep you focused and keep you in a positive mindset toward achieving your goals. For me, this will take place in the form of podcasts and different audio recordings, inspiring YouTube videos, sermons, anything of the like. For me, I listen to podcasts on Spotify, which is $10.50 per month. So that is quite a bit of savings from my $90 LTD subscription, and I get access to a variety of podcasts toward a lot of different interests that I have specifically for myself. So, step 4 is listen daily. Step 5 in the AMWAY LTD system is to read consistently. I created a video recently and posted it about the books that I read while I was in AMWAY. I think I covered about 30 or 40 books in a 30-minute video, and if you are looking for your own personal growth type books and you want to get a little bit of inspiration, a lot of those books from the AMWAY LTD list had a lot of general, really great success principle type books. So I think that that's a great place to start. But in general business practices, this would just be personal growth and investing in your personal growth through reading. And I'm going to do the same thing. So step 5 is read consistently. Step 6 in AMWAY LTD Roadmap to Success is to attend all business meetings. This meant Tuesday night information sessions and the Tuesday night trainings afterward, any night owls that you were invited to, if they were exclusive, and you were invited to them, you attend all of those. You attend all conferences, all networking meetings, anything that you were invited to, any special events, or even any just general hangouts. It was expected that you would prioritize those opportunities to associate over anything else, which led to a lot of personal isolation and really just isolated me from all of my friends and family, because I was to keep these meetings and the hangouts with this particular group as a priority over everything else. So in general business practices, this would just be general events that you can attend. If you're trying to become more fit, then finding a fitness class, or if you are trying to be more creative, then joining an art class, or even just attending different business conferences, or if you're trying to grow yourself spiritually, going to church or other religious meetings. Finding different events to attend would probably be helpful in maximizing your growth. For me, because I don't have any particular structure in place and I'm trying to address my health and success as a whole, I am just going to narrow that down to showing up to my scheduled workouts, which means scheduling workouts and actually having an appointment to keep with myself and showing up for that. So step 6 is to attend all scheduled workouts. Step 7 in LTD is to be accountable. I think a lot of people used this step in terms of being accountable to your own dream and having that visually represented to you every day. So a lot of people had vision boards, they had affirmations that they spoke, and they did different things, like they'd drive through rich neighborhoods and visualize themselves being in a mansion, or going to a car dealership and actually test driving a car that they would really want to buy, but most likely would never actually own, because let's face it, Amway doesn't get 99% of the people who invest in it actual tangible results. So yeah, that would be being accountable in the Amway sense. In general business practice, that would probably just be consistency of anything that you decide to do, or consistency of showing up and being, delivering what you have to deliver. For me, I'm going to use that as an opportunity to fortify my dream. That might mean writing or speaking affirmations, or listening to affirmations, visualizing my goals, just planning action and taking that action. So this would be my time to be consistent in delivering the things that I need to deliver every day to push myself forward. So step number 7 for me is fortify my dream. Step 8 in LTD is to be coachable and seek a mentor. Obviously, basically as covered in any of my Amway videos, but especially in the book list video that I did, I demonstrated a lot of the ways that the people who were higher than me in Amway would use their material, use the books that they were recommending to manipulate me into basically worshiping my upline and prioritizing that relationship over every other thing in my life. So it was way unhealthy and way extreme, but in general business practice, it is really awesome to find a mentor, find someone who has the results that you want, and then to seek out their counsel or absorb any bit of content that they release. If they write a book, then you read their books. If they, have a blog or a podcast or a YouTube channel or whatever, you're absorbing their content because you're learning from them and whatever information they're willing to share. For me, this step is actually going to be more geared toward deepening relationships with people who are close to me, who bring more positivity and light to my life. So step 8 for me is to deepen relationships. And step 9 in Amway LTD is to communicate. Now, LTD had a messaging platform where you would send a message of your daily activity, and then you'd send that upline. They would do 90-day core runs in groups. So there could be like 20 or 30 people on a 90-day core run and sending out their messages of their daily activity. And it actually was really helpful in keeping people accountable. Obviously, with Amway LTD, we all know that 99% of the people don't actually make a lot of progress with that. So a lot of those 90-day core runs seemed very fruitless. But in general business practices, this would just be to find a community of people who are also trying to achieve the same success that you're achieving, and then to stick with that community and help grow each other, because with community you're stronger, you have more motivation, you have more accountability, and you just don't feel alone when you're trying to achieve something that's way bigger than what you think you're capable of. For me, that is going to be communicating on my Instagram. You can follow me at SarahGirlDaily, and I will be posting daily updates of what I'm doing every day for these next 90 days from March 5th to June 2nd. I will be posting an Instagram post. If it is later than 9 p.m., I need you to check me because I should not be losing sleep or being unhealthy in the way that I'm trying to achieve this. That is something that I did with AMWAY that I really regret because it just exhausted me physically and emotionally to be up until 2 or 3 in the morning trying to finish my reading and having to get up the next day for work and having to do it all over again. And if you miss one step in a day, then you have to restart your 90 days. It's just ridiculous. So I am not going to do that. I'm not going to be legalistic. I am going to be forgiving with myself, but I'm going to be really intentional for the next 90 days in these 9 core steps. In AMWAY, core meant change or remain employed. But for me, like I said, for me, it is consistency of reforming effort. But for you, core might mean something completely different. Core might mean concentrating on recovery every day, creation of relaxing environment, clarity of routine effectiveness, centered on remaining elite. Or come up with your own acronym, and it doesn't have to be CORE. I'm sticking with 90-day core run because it's just drilled into me at this point, and that's the terminology that I'm going to use. But it's a different motivation. It's completely different. It's a different attitude, and it's a different energy, and they are actual steps that are going to help me toward my specific goals. If you'd like to join me, or even just do a 7-day core run, or a 30-day core run, or a 60-day core run, or go with me the full 90, and you want to DM me in Instagram, or you want to email me, I always have that at the end of my videos, or if you just want to comment down below on this video what kind of habits you want to be intentional about, I would be so encouraged to hear that other people are trying to be consistent and being intentional with habits that they're trying to develop. But honestly, if you're just here for the ride and you're just entertained by me trying to apply multi-level marketing habits to my everyday life, then by all means, stick around. Please press the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell, I guess, if you want to actually be notified that I've updated a video. And in general, I'm just so glad that you're here with me. And yeah, next week I will be covering a very bizarre event that happened to me the same day that I posted last week's video. So yeah, I posted my February health update, and later that night, craziness ensued. So we're just gonna go over it. And I'm actually looking forward to sharing that with you all. So anyway, love ya, and we will see you next week. Okay, bye.